Hello, beautiful unicorns. How are you all doing on this amazing Monday? Happy Monday. Great start to a new week, I hope. And if not, maybe it's about to get better. Yana Kasperczak, your spiritual awakening core energy coach, and my soul's purpose is to help you get your shit together so you can break free from that mental prison that you find yourself in and live the life that you are proud of and love to wake up to every single day and feel fulfilled with it, right? Come on, we all want to feel the fulfillment. That is what we're after. We sometimes use the word purpose, but our purpose is what helps us to feel the fulfillment. Or the way that we live our life can be our very purpose, and we feel fulfilled in living our life the way that we want to live our life. And sometimes we all are forced to have a pause in our life to figure out what we actually want from life. And it really starts with who are we, followed by why are we, and then what do we do with all of that? So, since we're all animals, sometimes we can be worse than animals, as some people would say, that we're such conscious beings but behave in such unhealthy, unconscious ways. And yeah, so let's see what these animal cards have for us in store for today. Beaver. Eager beaver? Is that the phrase that comes to mind? At least for me. Eager beaver. That's what comes to mind for me. I have not seen this card, and I am really interested in what it holds and what it means for us. So this is the water sign, and here's the beaver. Okay, beaver, and then this is the reading from the guidebook. Let's keep it as short and sweet as we can today, since I have started the challenge that I've been talking about for a couple of weeks now. More so for the last week openly, and the other week it was more so privately. And the challenge is breaking free from the good girl mold, which we might end up doing again if you're not part of the challenge. And today, Monday, February 5th. Why am I looking? Because the 5th is when the challenge started. So Monday, February 5th is when we started this challenge, and it's just for 5 days. So if you're still want in and you're watching this video today, we can let you into the group today, since it is day one, as long as you promise to get the day one homework completed. And as you can tell, I only did one hand on my nails, and the other hand I'm going to be doing later. Only had time for one, and then I'll do the other hand later. Okay, because we're all on the schedule here. So Beaver, hard worker, loyal, tireless, family first. Those of you who are watching and listening, this is you. This is what you're going through. This is what you're dealing with. This is who you are right now. And the Beaver personality is a welcome sight. These good-natured and dependable creatures have infinite love and enthusiasm for family, and express it by way of earth element, providing a home, financial stability. It's coming. I know some of you might have been dealing with and going through financial struggles. And what this card is saying is that you have been building a dam. You have been working so hard and tirelessly to create this financial stability, this certain home environment, to put the logs, the wood, where it's going to keep everyone protected and catch the the money that you've been looking for, those finances. So it will allow you to have financial stability. So it's just a reminder that it's coming and it's on its way, and you have been doing everything to make sure that it happens. Just keep doing it, keep going. The beaver does not just build one dam and that's it, it's done. It continues to add to it and makes sure that it's a symbol for a reason, right? The beaver, especially in Canada, it's on our 5-cent penny, or 5-cent coin, not a penny. It continues to make sure that the foundation is solid, that the house is solid, that everything keeps going. Initially, yes, the beaver does a lot of work to put everything in place, to set everything up, and sometimes nature comes and happens and destroys the beaver's den, but not entirely. And the beaver doesn't complain. It understands that this is natural, that it's going to happen. So it will go back to doing its job. And you are the beaver. You know, even though consciously you might be dealing with your programming, where you're beating yourself up and telling yourself all the different ways how you are a failure, how you're not good enough, that you should have known, you could have known, you should do this, you should do that. That is not who you truly are. That is your programming. So whereas a beaver is not conscious enough to, and that's why I guess I started talking about, the animals and humans, how we humans are very conscious, and sometimes that can be our downfall. But that beaver spirit, that beaver energy is a big part of you. This is who you are. And intuitively, you know that things happen in nature, you in your family life, that by nature there's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be really challenging times where nature damages the beaver den, and you as the beaver and the human who is conscious and is living with the programming of, why is this happening? Why me? I'm not good enough, I can't deal. And it's very normal to go through those things as well. And the reason for that is because in order for you to get to a point in your existence and ask a healthier question, instead of saying why me, or instead of asking why me, asking why not me, right? Why wouldn't I want to go through this? Because by going through this, I'm going to become a bigger and stronger person. That way I can deal with anything that comes my way. That way I become an expert beaver den builder and overcome anything, and then learn from that point. So of course, initially we all start asking, why me, why me, why me? And this is the victim state that we all go through and we all go to once in a while. So that way we can ask healthier questions such as, why not me? Who would I suggest? And when we start asking those kind of questions, hey, Rebecca, how are you doing, beautiful? When we start asking those type of questions, why not me? Who would I suggest? I personally can't think of anyone else that I would suggest. Number one, I wouldn't want anyone to go through a challenging time. Number two, and this is I don't want the phrase selfish part of me comes through, but in a way it's not selfish, is I want to be the one to learn that lesson. I want to be the one to get stronger in that area. Yes, of course, I wouldn't wish anything bad or horrible to happen to me or anyone in my family or anyone I love, but I have grown so much in my life, through my life, that I've learned to ask different questions, such as the one I just said. Why not me? I wouldn't want to suggest anyone else. I would want to be the one to go through what I'm going through and not dump it on anyone else and wish that I wasn't going through it. Yes, there's of course moments and experiences that I too go through where the programming might seep through, But to be honest, right now, I can't think of any of those instances because it's like positivity is more so who I am. And if we are, some of you are familiar with the energy levels. Hey, Peggy, how are you doing? Beautiful. Good morning. Some of you are familiar with the energy levels. And I'll quickly skim through until the one that I want to talk about. Level 1 is the victim, where we're poor me attitude, when we think and believe things are happening to us, and we struggle to get out of that space. We struggle to take any action, and we're unable to move forward. You can't get anything done on level 1. Level 2 is, oh, I'm going to show them, I'm going to prove to them, and you become a fighter. And sometimes we need to go from level 1 to level 2 to fight for ourselves. Level 3 is where you start to rationalize and start to make sense of things, and you talk yourself through it, and you find a silver lining in whatever it is that you're going through. Level 4 is where it's kind of, there's two parts to it. There's a part where because it's a caregiver, you're a caregiver to others in your life, and you're taking care of people, and you are in a way hopeful that they're going to notice you, they're going to take care of you. And then there's the other part where you put yourself first and you take care of yourself, you become a caregiver of yourself. But mostly level 4 is where you're caregiving to others, taking care of everyone else. Whereas level 5, and this is where level 3 and level 5 are often confused, because level 5, you see the silver lining, you see the opportunities. There's no conversation or dialogue that's happening in your mind or outside of you where you're trying to see the opportunity, where you're trying to make sense of something. It just is. So this happened. Level 3, you would make sense of it. You would say, this happened because of this happened because of that. And in level 5, you would say, this happened. And now this is what I get from it, right? You just see and know the opportunities without trying to rationalize through it, without trying to particularly also trying to change the situation and trying to, in a way, manipulate the situation to make sense for you, to rationalize it to a point where everything starts to make sense for you. Yes, you hope other people win, you hope people get ahead as well, but in the end, you are the one that wants to win, and that's level 3. Whereas level 5, it's a win-win, right? Whatever it is that you're going through, you don't need to make sense of the situation. It already makes sense. And sometimes you might not even know why. And this is where a little bit of the level 6 comes in, because level 6 is intuition, where intuition resides. And in level 5, it just is. So as a beaver in nature, the beaver that exists, the beaver that lives, it lives in level 5. It sees what has happened. It is not jumping through the levels and going, level 1, why did that happen to me? Why am I dealing with this? And doesn't go and get angry and say, oh, this stupid nature has come and took my Dan out, or destroyed my Dan, or damaged my Dan. And it doesn't try to make sense. Oh, this was nature. This is okay. I gotta be understanding of nature. And it's okay. Now I get to learn from this experience and become a better beaver. And it doesn't think of, I need to take care of myself, I need to, if it got hurt in the process or its babies got hurt, it doesn't rationalize through the situation. It right away goes into level 5. It goes into, I am a beaver, nature is, the damage is, and I am doing all of these things because this is who I am, without talking through it. I'm taking care of myself if I got hurt, because I know naturally, this is where I am, this is what must be done. Otherwise, I cannot do what I need to do in order for me to take care of my family. This is how nature exists. And we human beings, we have become detached from nature. So much so that we don't even know who we are. we are the most confused species on this planet. And I chuckle because it's so true. It's so true that we're the most confused species on the planet, and we're becoming even more confused. So much so more confused that we sometimes don't even know who we are. Whereas a beaver knows it's a beaver. No one can tell it otherwise. It knows it's a beaver and there's no confusion there. Whereas we are so confused that we don't even know who we are. We go beyond, like when I was going through my confusion state, I thought I was just a mother, and I couldn't be just a mother. It was so much more so. And this is where the opportunity lies as well, where we get to uncover so much more than who we are, because we're so much more conscious than beavers. So knowing that the confusion in itself is the opportunity, and it's just figuring something out, and it's not going to be easy. It's not meant to be easy. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. Everybody would be having it. It's not meant to be. It's meant to be difficult. It's meant to be challenging. So that way you can find yourself through that difficulty, through that challenge, and get to a point where I am. Everything is. And not question it as much, and just be the one with the flow. And that's level 5. Level 6 is where you're trusting the process and intuitively living and being intuitively guided. And then level 7, you are just one with everything. You are one with, we are one. You're one with nature, and you are being. Okay. Rebecca says, I was a tree before this life, standing in tree pose longer than I ever have. You are a tree. I know this is like a yoga position that you're talking about, and I am just curious of how long did you stand in the tree pose, and what triggered you to go into the tree pose and be a tree? Because it helps me to understand where you were and where you are now. A tree is nature. A tree knows it's a tree. And at the same time, it doesn't even know it's a tree. It just knows it's nature. It is one with everything. It is one with all. And a tree also knows that there's trees around, and it helps other trees by sharing water, by sharing nutrients with them, without feeling like there's not enough for me. It knows that there's going to be more than enough for everyone. Okay, let's keep going with this reading. Although a beaver doesn't usually initiate a project, once started, they'll work steadily for weeks, months, or years to see it through. Now this ties in, I believe it was a Thursday when I was talking about get your shit together. I don't remember the topic that I was talking about, but I feel like this ties in that topic, where we sometimes can find ourselves starting projects and not finishing projects, and for many different reasons. But I'm not going to go in too much into that conversation. I'm just going to talk about you being the beaver, and that you are a beaver. That means that you have started a project or about to start a project, and you're going to see it through. That this is the energy that you're in right now, and will stay in until you get to that end, until you follow through on that project, and you will continue doing that. And it's also reminded that not every project, as a beaver in nature, they don't, because they're the ones with nature, they don't get all creative and decide, hey, I'm going to carve out an eagle out of this tree. They don't do that. They know, I'm going to chop this tree down and I'm going to put it right here. Right? Or next project is I'm going to have babies, and I'm going to make sure that the nest and the den is perfect for the babies. You as a human being, with such a creative mind, you come up with so many ideas, creative ideas and projects, that it's only natural not to follow through on all of them, because not all of them are meant to be followed through on. Number one, you just meant to learn what you meant to learn from it, and then go on to the next one. And not every project is meant to be for you. Some of these projects are meant to be for someone else. Whereas these other projects that you are doing or about to take on are meant to be for you, and you're meant to follow through on them from beginning to the end. What's meant to be yours is going to be yours. What you're meant to complete, you're going to complete. And also a reminder that if you have started a project eons ago and you are going back to it now, the same concept. You don't have to follow through on it and finish it because you're just meant to learn whatever you're meant to learn. Or maybe it is time to get it done. Sometimes we're meant to walk away from a project, to miss it enough and allow more ideas and more creative thoughts to come through for us. So when we go back, we are recharged and we are renewed and we do what we're meant to do on that project. With books as well, it's also understanding what the intention is behind the project. Do you want to just finish the project for the sake of finishing the project, or do you want to finish the project because you want to learn and because there's certain level of standard or success that you want to have within this project? What is it that you're actually doing this project for? Is it just for bragging rights, or is it actually because you want to do it and you want to follow through on it because there's something in the end of the project for you or for your family? Okay. Let me see. The Beaver card appears when the task at hand requires your long-term steady effort. Right now, there's some project that you're doing. I know for me, there's definitely a project. I know for me, it's talking about the challenge that I've been talking about. And then the challenge is going to lead into the good girl, breaking free from the good girl mold quest, which is going to be a 6-week quest that I'm going to be taking women through as a group. And then that is going to lead into something bigger, which, as the time comes, I will continue to figure it out and continue to reveal it as I go. But and all of us are doing some kind of a project. And then also the other part of the project is with the house. So we already started renovating. We renovated both of the kids' bedrooms. We renovated the garage. We renovated the bathroom. Now we are starting living room, dining room, hallway, all in one, and the front door. It's all in one. 4 things in one. And then we're going to go into our bedroom and then our bathroom, and then we're going into the basement. So for us, it's these projects that we also put a pause on doing any work in the house during the holiday season, December and January. We all need physical and mental rest so we can learn what we need to learn, be eager beaver again to go and do the projects that we started here in the house, and you guys have started in your house as well. I'm pretty sure many of you have started some projects in the last year, and now with the new year here and being February, that you might be now ready to go back to those projects new and refreshed. And I feel like February is a perfect month to start because this is a month of love. And instead of giving yourself and giving your love and being level 4 and being a caregiver to everyone else, put that focus on yourself. Because you know what's going to happen. I feel like you might already know this on some level or another, whether it's conscious or subconscious. Is that by you giving love to yourself and taking care of yourself and having newfound love for yourself, you will experience that love throughout your whole entire life, everywhere. With your kids, with your partner or spouse, with your friends, with your family, with your extended family, with your soul family, you'll start to feel so much more love because it's not an external game, it's an internal game. And when you love yourself, it just, you feel like everybody else loves you as well. But when you don't love yourself, you feel like nobody else loves you. Because it's literally inside out. It starts in your core. The this one I think I already read. The Beaver card appears when the task at hand requires a long-term steady effort. It can also signify that it's time for some karma yoga, selfless service. And I feel like it leads right perfectly into Rebecca's comments for that, because I asked her about the tree pose. Now Rebecca says, I was connecting to the earth and was looking out my window at the giant trees blowing in the windy rain. 4 to 5 minutes. Nice. That's quite some time to be in one pose and gazing out into nature. You got much warmer weather where you are. So sense on this way, because it's really cold here. We still got snow. It hasn't not even half of it has melted yet. And Rebecca said it was a meditation to connect with the earth along with some yoga poses. So you were already in this natural state, in this space of nature, for nature, because you are one with nature. Where even in this reading, it says, do some karma yoga, selfless service. Now, how can you tell when your beaver, it sounds so wrong, not that beaver, okay? Get your mind out of the gutter. How can you tell when the beaver within you, the beaver that you are, is in balance? Happy, you feel happy, and you feel and are doing meaningful work. You feel like you're contributing. You feel like you're living in your purpose and that you're serving your purpose. You feel fulfilled. Now, when out of balance, right? The beaver within you might be out of balance. Feels useless. Worn out. So those of you who might feel useless right now, you feel worn out, your beaver is out of balance. Go balance your beaver within you. Okay? You can chuckle and laugh about it. Laughter is so healing. It is so healing. This is the best medicine there is, and it makes me think of Monsters, Inc. If you haven't watched that Disney movie, I recommend to go and watch it, because it will help you to understand and perhaps start perceiving the world and seeing the world in a little bit of a different light, and recognizing that the world wants anger and hatred and tries to spread that across, whereas laughter and love is so much more powerful, and that is what charges and energizes the earth and the planet and people around you. Now, to bring to balance physical labor, selfless service. So you're going to go level 4 this, meaning that you're going to take care of someone else and help someone else selflessly, without any kind of agenda, without the intention of, I want to get this, I'm doing this because this is what I want to return, or I'm doing that because this is what I want to return, without trying to get something for yourself. That's what selfless service means. Now, I'll use myself as an example right now. We're doing the challenge, the Breaking Free from the Good Girl Mold 5-day challenge. And in the end, yes, of course, I hope people are going to go and sign up for the quest of going deeper into breaking free from the good girl mold. But to me, that is not the intention. The intention is for me to put this amazing and powerful 5-day challenge for women to go through, so they can actually see and feel themselves, perhaps for the first time ever. So they can see that mold in front of them that they might have not even been aware of up until this point. So that way they have this knowledge and they have this newfound power within themselves to start living a life that they've been wanting to live. Because most of these women, they have not been exposed to even the understanding or the experience of seeing that good girl within them in the ways that I am going to help them to see that. And that's going to take some time to work through it, to own it. It's not just you go and you do this 5-day challenge and that's it, everything is done and fixed. It stays with you, and we're all processors. We all need time to process what we experience and what we go through. And it's going to take time for everyone to process, to understand, and to continue to apply what they learned throughout this 5-day challenge. So a lot of these women, they're not going to sign up for the first go around of the quest, the 6-week breaking through the mold of the good girl quest that we're putting together, that starts on Valentine's Day. It might be the next time that we offer and open the doors to the quest, because it takes time. It might be the following one, it might be the following, or they might never sign up. For me, I have learned to just give and give and give in the ways that I love giving. These videos, you know how many people do these kind of videos and they charge for them? I don't charge for any of these videos, for any of this knowledge, because I know the power that they hold for each and every one of you that either listens and then learns and applies what they learn. I know what it can do. I know what it, or how it could potentially help each and every one of you. And I also know, I'm going to bring AI into this. I also know that there's so many people out there that have started using AI and pretending that this is the true them, but it's the AI speaking, whereas that is, to me, that goes against what Empathy New Code Academy stands for. Empathy New Code Academy is all authenticity, and yes, we might use AI for certain things to help us help us in, how would I put it? We have idea, we have a thought, and we would use AI to help us generate a little bit of understanding about our audience and the content. And then by having this skeleton, as we like to call it, by having this skeleton, then we can put ourselves into that and share with everyone. It helps to close the gaps between a thought and idea to how do we bring it to the market, because it already knows what Empathy New Code Academy is and stands for, and at the same time we make it our own. Whereas I don't know how others do it, but seeing how many people don't like these AI generated images, AI generated content, AI generated videos and trainings and lessons that you don't know if it's the real person. It's so scary how realistic it is nowadays that you don't know if it's a real person. Whereas with us at Empathy New Code Academy, everything and everyone is true and authentic, and there's no fakeness in there. So if your Beaver is out of balance, physical labor, that might be, this is what works for me: decluttering and organizing, going into one of the spaces in the house and taking everything out, cleaning it out, figuring out what am I keeping, what am I getting rid of, and how I'm going to get rid of it, and then putting it back in a nice and neat, organized way. A lot of it is my ADHD, where if it's cluttered, I can't think, I can't focus, and in my mind just stuck on that place. And most of the spaces in my house are clean and organized. But some of them, like for example, the one thing that's on my mind that now I'm talking about, I'm going to go and do it, and it'll literally take me like 5 minutes to do, is one of the drawers that we have in the kitchen, where we also have, most people will call it a junk drawer, but if you open it, there's nothing junky about the drawer. It's very organized. It has dividers and separators in there. It has wooden nice bins in there, so everything has its own place. But there's too many pencils in there. There's too many pens in there, which are also in their own separate thing in the drawer. And there's also a compartment for chargers and wires, and I want to organize that one. So even though it's organized and it's neat, and most people would say it's perfect, you don't need to go and touch it, for me it's not. I know there's too many things in there, so I'm going to declutter it because it's already organized. I'm going to declutter it and I'm going to put it in a different place where we have a bin with pencils and another bin with pens and another bin with colored pens and another bin with markers. So it's literally all separated and organized in the way that it's supposed to be. And I know there's other places in my house that I would like to organize and clean up, but the time for that will come. You know, one project at a time. We're not meant to be, you know, saving the world, if you will, all in one day or all in 1 week. Good morning, Kelly. How are you doing? Beautiful. And let me see. Rebecca says, when does the 5-day start? The 5-day challenge started today. So I mentioned in the beginning of the video that we'll still let women into the 5-day challenge today, since it's just day 1, but make sure that you are, the post is at the beginning, sorry, what is it called? In the pinned post, you'll see the post talking about the challenge. There should be one, the original post, and then the reminder, and you will know which one it is. The reminder is the one where I'm pretending my laptop was a guitar and I'm playing with it, you know, breaking free through my own good girl mold, because the good girl would behave and sit nice and properly, whereas like, no, I'm going to pretend this is a guitar, I'm going to play with it. So you can still get in today into the challenge and get day 1 done. The video is already out to help you through day 1, and I'm keeping it as simple as possible, and everything is going to be in the group. So to answer that question, and then Rebecca says, your work has helped me grow. Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's one of the biggest compliments I can receive and get, because that is my intention with everything that I put out there, whether it's free or paid, that it helps women that are going through it grow in the areas where they are ready to grow. It's not my job to push anyone outside of their comfort zone. It's everyone's job to push themselves outside of their comfort zones. Because comfort zones are comfortable for a little while until even the comfort zone becomes uncomfortable. If I'm going to bring in, which I will, bring in the good girl mold, we were all good girls and we were comfortable and cozy being the good girls until we became uncomfortable being the good girl and staying within that good girl mold, which started to become uncomfortable and restricting. And that is why those who are ready to break free from that good girl mold are doing the work that they're doing. And others are simply not ready. And that is absolutely okay. It took me time to be ready to start breaking through the good girl mold. And it took me time to start to uncover that mold myself and then to break through it. And I will continue to do that work and remold myself each and every opportunity that I get, whether it's through level 3 that I see the opportunity and I have to make sense of what I'm going through to see the opportunity, or where I naturally just see the opportunity and take action in charge of it without even trying. But every level has its advantages and disadvantages. Those of you who are thinking, I want to live level 5 life, I love level 5, I just love seeing the opportunities and all, I will really quickly share the disadvantages of that level, and you might have experienced it yourself. Analysis by paralysis, you can experience that at level 5, which brings you to the lower levels, of course, and because when you see opportunities and everything, you can only imagine. And you know you've been there, you know you've experienced it. Where do I start? What do I do? Because there's just so many opportunities where you can just end up not doing anything at all. Just because you see the opportunities does not mean that you're ready for them and you're ready to do what you know the opportunity brings. Rebecca says, I want to do the 5-day challenge. I'll look for it. Just go to the pinned post in our group, which is Heal the Unicorn. What is it called? We just changed the name. Emotional Healing and Spiritual Growth for Women. So if you're listening to this video on a different platform and you're not in this group, come and join, come check it out. There's lots of things happening in the group every single day. This is not the only video that I do and go live with in the group. We have the podcast in here that Bethany and I do on Wednesdays at 1:30 p.m. Eastern time every Wednesday. And this card readings I do on Mondays at 11:30-ish a.m. Eastern time. Everything is Eastern time. And then Thursday I do Get Your Shit Together, weekly life guidance in this group as well. So there's lots of things happening in this group. And then there's lots of posts, not just from me, but from Bethany and from all of you incredible women in this community as well, who are here to help and support one another and grow and become a more evolved version of themselves, of ourselves. So this challenge is pinned to the very top of the group, so it's easy to find. Everything important is pinned to the top. Bethany does an amazing job with making sure everything is in there as well, and helping and supporting each and every one of you on this journey of growth and evolution to help you heal emotionally and help your spiritual growth as well. And yeah, so it would be 5-day challenge. You'll see it at the very top, pinned in the group, or my profile. You can find it as well. It's not pinned. The quest is pinned, but the challenge will be one of the most recent posts. I don't post too much on my group, sorry, on the page, and in the group I also don't post too much, because I'm more of this kind of interaction where there's live interaction, whether it's through the video, whether it's in group coaching, whether it's in one-on-one coaching. That's where I thrive. This is how I feel that fulfillment. Whereas posting, I post when I feel the calling intuitively, going with the flow, going with nature. Anyways, that is all for today. Thank you very much for listening, for tuning in. I would love to hear what this reading has helped you with, or how it has helped you when it comes to focusing on the beaver within you. I was going to say it the other way. I love humor as well. As I said, humor heals. So talk to the beaver within you and tune into her, even if it means what you think it means, or what I think you think it means. So whatever the beaver calls, listen to that beaver, pay attention to her. She's worthy of love. You are worthy of love. You are the beaver. And if you missed a part of this reading, you feel free to go to the beginning and listen to all of it, so that way you have the full picture of where you are, and it will help you to go to where you want to go to in your life, personal or career-wise. Other than that, thank you, each and every one of you. I shall see you in the Secret Circle tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So if you're not part of the Sacred Circle and you want in, there's a post to join. Make sure you join and you sign up for it, so that way the link will be sent to you as well. And because it's private and confidential, none of that is shared, and it's off Facebook. It's through Zoom, where Bethany and I will alternate the hosting. Or I will see you tomorrow on my personal page live with one of the stories, fun or crazy stories that I share with you all on my page, through having worked with clients and what they go through, what they deal with, and then story, and then solution and help through the story. Otherwise, I will see you at one of these other events. Maybe I'll see you in the 5-day challenge in the group that we have created for it. And until next time, bye ladies. Have an amazing rest of your day.